Okay, here is Ulysses Lavaroni, and we have a special guest, Jurgen Winkel, on this side, on Amsterdam, isn't it?
Eindhoven.
Okay, so
Yeah.
hello and thank you to be here.
Hi. You're welcome to have us. Yeah.
So you are going to release a new work via Cyclical Dreams, and we want to interview and know about your vision in music and your vision about your work and things related. And the first question is one very important for us is how was your arrival to electronic music and synthesizers? And I mean, did you work before on another kind of music, or you start with electronic music, and then what are your influences or references in this process to arrive to electronic music?
Okay. Okay. Well, when I was at the high school, um, I have to had a cassette recorder to learn English, and then the neighbor he recorded some LPs, and it was Creedence Clearwater Revival, it was Santana, and it was Deep Purple. And the thing that I notice is, especially Deep Purple, that I'm not was listening to the guitar but to the Hammond organ. So guitar I know, but the Hammond organ was something new for me, and I think that made me interested in keyboards in general. Later on, great influences for me were the Sugar Cubes and Bjork, um, in the way that they translate natural things into music. So not the straight concept from four on the floor, but really moving music. And on the other hand, the German band Einstürzende Neubauten. You know it?
Yeah, the industrial.
Yeah, very industrial. So my first band was a sort of mix from Björk and Einstürzende Neubauten. And I did the machinery. Had a drum computer. I had a sort of sampler. We had a Uno 60, and the singer was very into Oscar Wilde and poems. So we started with sitting and just playing atmosphere, and he was telling the words, and that was became a band after some years. And we were here in the squatted scene, so we were very politic engaged. And I think that in music you should have a message, but the message, it isn't so that it should be 100% clear, and a listener can make his own meaning about it. But I think the same as a painter, a musician, yeah, you have to tell something, and that's what I'm trying to do. And we played 10 years live in Europe with the band, and then next to that I started SONICrider, and that was for the love of music and sound, so something between sound and music, and that I'm still doing. And I'm not really into a specific genre. I play virtual in California on a noise fest, and it's for the first time that I make really noise. So then I'm dive into that kind of music, and I try to make my version of noise. And the album I do, Elapsis for Cyclical Dreams, is a story about that many people have a sort of escape for the reality, because the reality isn't that fine at the moment, especially here in Europe with the war. But escaping isn't a solution. So we are all in between escaping and knowing we don't have to do that because nothing will change. And that's more or less the topic I try to express in Elapsis. But yeah, and for me, modular setup, behind you see a part of my studio, is that each time when I have a new release, I start from scratch designing the sounds for that release. And sometimes I use like a Moog is a Moog, but then still I try to make it sound different than the time before.
So,
Like
so, so when you start the composition, you, the ideas arise from this experimentation, patching new connections, or starting first about an idea or a concept, and then you translate to the musical intentions? How it is?
I think it starts with the idea, and then I'm gonna patch, and then from the patch, it's a loop, and I go back to my idea, you know. But it starts with an idea, often on paper. Maybe I can I, shall I look if I can take something? I don't know if it's visible on the screen, but like this is a sort of writing, and then each line is a sound.
Yeah.
Each line is a sound, and what I write down is the intensity of the sound, and when it kicks in, and when it goes out, and so all my sound sources are lined out, and this is a sort of writing of the piece I'm gonna do. And I always record in stereo, so it has to be good, but sometimes a mistake can be good too, you know. But the intention is important, and then I do the recording 2-3 times, and then I choose the one that is nearest to what I would like to express.
That's mean that you do not record in different tracks. You mean that
I did.
You mixed on the fly when you are playing. Okay, that's great. It's very interesting.
You know, when I
it's like a live. It's a live set.
Yeah, you know what I notice is when I have 24 channels in to Ableton. That's my recording, and then I played something years ago, and then the process starts over again. You're going to listen each track, and you're going to change your whole idea. And it's rather, I compare it with a cook. You have your ingredients, and this is the recipe, you know, and you can't take it out and make it again. It's what it is. And I love the tension, because when I play for all tracks, I know, oh, it's a mistake, I can do the bass new, but now it has to be good. So I feel really tension when I record it, and I do the same preparation as when I play live. I take something to drink, and I try to be relaxed, and you know, and that's, yeah, I think I hear the difference. Yeah, it's a reflection on how I feel when I play it.
Yes, this is a very interesting process, because I mean, it's a live session, and the live session have your decisions one after the other. So you have to be in a state of mind that you need to be clear with your concept and with your intention, and that means that maybe you have to rehearsal. So and so this is completely different than composing in a computer. That many times when composing in computers, the author maybe not rehearsal this this idea, because it's, you know, you just play and you have the MIDI stuff over there, and you are messing around the idea, but not exactly rehearsing the idea. And this is very interesting, because there are different ways of composition, and so it's always your way of work in nowadays. I mean, you found that it works for you.
It works for me, and sometimes when I do something for a video project, people ask me to make music, and I have sometimes 2 versions, both I like, and then I give it to them and I say, choose which one you like most. But I think I go from recording to mastering, and the mixing part, I left out, because I was fiddling things. Why? Because I already arranged it. You know, I know why I want to have the bass that frequency, and I also think, where is my sub? Okay, you have your sub, you don't. And so I make those decisions while making it. And so all my oscillators and so have, in the end of the chain, a volume control. So I really can can start, you know, and that's the way of working, and I like it. I like it. But I think it's a development through the years, you know.
Exactly. And about the instruments, do you start for this work, for this precise work about you are going to release by Cyclical Dreams? Do you start with a specific instrument as a main source and then the others, or is just a more, I don't know, something here, something there? How it was the process with the instruments in this work?
Well, Pablo asked me to write down all titles and then which instrument I use, and I think this is a special project for me because I tell a story and it has 8 tracks, the story in itself. But I would like the listener to give them the same peace of mind I had when I was making it. So the album starts with a song and it's an intro, but it's not an intro from a track, it's the intro for the album. And it has an outro. So then you have 10 songs, 10 tracks. And the next what I did is I was listening to it when I recorded them, and sometimes the sounds are very different. There is a sort of little techno piece, there is experimental, and they all have their own specific instrument that is leading. And since the differences are that big, I made 9 temporales, little in-betweens, like a spoon in a dinner, you know, a spoon, so your taste is fresh, open. So in the end, it's 19 tracks, and in between each song, there is only one instrument that makes a sort of atmosphere that brings you back away from the one and ready for the next one. So it's for the first time I did it, and I really like it. And it's almost 2 hours. And and the CD will only have the 8 numbers, the 8 original tracks. And in total for the Bandcamp release, it's almost 2 hours. And my wife said, "Who's going to listen 2 hours?" You know? And I said, "Yeah, it doesn't feel like 2 hours because it's a story and you hear it, you know." And so the in-betweens are with one specific instrument, and all the others have a sort of leading instrument. Sometimes it's the moog, but it's also the banjolin. I don't know if you know it.
Sorry?
Banjolin.
No, I'm not sure. No.
Banjolin is from Rob Hardijk. He builds synths here in the Netherlands, and unfortunately he died 2 weeks ago. He's a sort of moog or you know, from the Netherlands, and he designed an oscillator, and when you tune one, you detune the other, so it's not possible to tune them. And that make a very specific sound, and it fits exactly one piece, you know. And there it's sort of the lead, the guitar of the song also. So in fact, I use almost everything I have in the studio, and also a Foley. That's like to make film sounds, you know, with iron and a spring, and so is in it, in an atmospheric piece. So yeah, in fact, I think everything here is heard on the release.
But what is very interesting is how you play about the densities of the quantity of instruments. I mean, this is very interesting that you use many instruments and then one. It's like an orchestra.
Yeah,
When you have
yeah. I see it as I see it as an orchestra, and I think you know Colin Benders. Yeah, well, he's in that kind of example. He was a director of a real orchestra, and now he does the same with modulars. And I like it the way he approaches that every instrument has a role, and
I
his
think
setup
it's a
is
very nice way to see electronic music as an orchestra. It's very practical for organizing.
Yeah, yeah, and that's how I create these things. And the nice thing about this is that I'm finalizing it. And the idea is that I give it to someone else and gonna do the same flow from intensity, volume, filters, and so, but with their own instruments. That's I think a nice project to give this to another one. And what's coming out when you read this, when you feel this, you know?
Yeah. So you are planning to publish this kind of score too?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's nice. That's nice.
yeah, yeah. So that's a bit about, yeah, so in fact, all instruments are used, but sometimes it's very open, the music. And there is one song I made a video, and it's quite heavy. And I don't know, Pablo asked me, it is the second song. And but I think when you listen it each time, there can be a favorite, like a book, when you read a book, that sometimes things fit with your life at the moment, you know. And then I think it's the same with the album, that sometimes this song will say, okay, I feel it, and the other time it's maybe another one. And I hope that that will succeed, you know.
So very, very nice and very interesting process of composition. I agree personally with many ideas about. I love what happened in live sessions. It's when you really taste the music on
Yeah.
real time. So
Yeah. We organize here in Eindhoven modular events, and then we have always two musicians, and they play their own set. And in the end, they have to play something together, and each event has a name, and then they should do something. And it's always very good to hear what's coming out, because they contact each other before and have an idea, and then the rehearsal on the day itself for the first time, and then in the evening they have the tension, and now we do it, you know. And it's lovely to see and hear.
nice, very, very interesting. Well, thank you so much, Jurgen, for your words, and it's very inspirational also, and there's a lot of motivation about this way of working and your beautiful work. So, in the name of Cyclical Dreams, I want to say thank you to you for let us to publish this beautiful and interesting music, and also for your time now and for your words.
Thank you for the interview and taking your time too. And well, 30 September, huh? It's the moment.
It's the moment. Yes. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Okay, you're welcome, and thank you.